Hello students, welcome back. In this video, we are going to solve the fifth program of your web technology lab cycle. So they have asked you to create a PHP program to store records into the database and display all the records. So basically what you need to do is we are working with server-side script wherein we are going to accept the input from the user through an HTML page, and then we are going to collect the input at the server and make an establishment of connection with the database and save it in the database table. That's what we need to do. So they've asked you to create a table first and foremost with these many number of fields. Okay. For this program, we need to first switch on the XAMPP server. So for that, I'm going to the XAMPP control panel and I'm going to start Apache server as well as MySQL database. Once we see the green color over here for Apache and MySQL, it means that the XAMPP has started successfully. So let's open the browser to check whether Apache server has started or not. For that, you have to type localhost. Yes, if you get this page displayed, then the Apache server has been started successfully. Now we need to create a database table. So go to phpMyAdmin by clicking this link. This is the dashboard for creating database. Here, if you want to create a new database, you have to click on databases and create the database by typing the name of the database in this particular text box. I'm going to name the database as college and I'm going to hit on the button create. Now the database has been created. You can notice from here the database selected currently is the college database which we just now created. We need to create the tables for the database. There are no tables. Create table is a section here. I'm going to name the table as student. How many number of columns it is asking? Let's go back to the question. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 columns are there. I'm going to type 7 here and click on go. Now you have the template to create the database table fields. So here you have to just type the name of the field and specify the data type and specify other attributes for the particular column. So what is the first column? The first column is register number varchar 20 and it is a primary key. I'm going to name it as register number. Data type I'm going to select as varchar and length is 20. Actually our register number is 8 characters. We can just specify it as 8 characters. So let it be none itself. Attributes not required. Now we need to select it as primary key. So click on go. We have mentioned the size here 8 and click on go. Now primary key has been set for field name register number, right? Next is name. I'm going to name it as sname. Okay, that's also varchar. I'm going to make it as 20 characters. Next column is class. I'll make it as course. So let it be varchar and I'm going to give it as 5 characters in length. Next gender. So gender again is a varchar. I'm going to give it as 5 characters in length. Next you have phone number. I'm going to name it as just phone. So varchar and 10 digits in length. Next is the email ID. Select the data type as varchar. I'm going to give it as 20 in length. Next you have address. Okay, address is also varchar. you can specify it as 40 characters or 80 as they have mentioned. So once you give all the details for the columns, then you need to click on save. Okay, so now you have a database table which has got these many number of fields, and you can notice that register number is a primary key column. So this is the process for creating database table, okay, in MySQL using PHP MyAdmin. So now let's go to the Visual Studio Code and start programming. I'm going to create a new file called b5.php. Okay, so now we need to have two files over here, because in the program they've asked store the records into the database table and display all the records. So I'm going to create one more file to collect the user input, that is b5.html, right? So now design the HTML form to collect the user input. HTML head, title, student application form, body. Inside the body I'll have one heading, student application form. Okay, now let's design a form action is equal to, we need to send the data to the b5.php page which is residing in the server. Okay, so method I'm going to give it as post because we are sending large amount of data. Input type is equal to text. ID is equal to txt. I'm going to give it as register number. Okay, name also I'm going to specify as the same, txt register number. So we'll have one label for this, label for txt regno. Okay, here we are going to give the information register number. Okay, then we'll have a break tag. So next we need, I'm going to copy this. Next is txt name. I need to see the database. Next is name and course. So just rename it name. Here name. Here also I need to make the changes. Okay, once again copy. Here it has to be course. Course txt course here as well. Alright, so again I'm going to copy and paste. After course we have gender, so label for, so here what we can do is we'll have input type is equal to radio, radio name is RD, gender name also RD, gender. Here I'm going to give it as male, and value for this is male. Similarly, label is not required for this because I'm giving the details here itself. Okay, I'm going to copy this, paste it. Everything remains same except here. Okay, I'm going to remove the break. Next is phone number. So for phone number, I'm going to copy this, txt ph phone, txt ph here as well. Okay, last two columns are email and address. So paste it once again. Txt email. Be very cautious with respect to the naming because the same name has to be used in the PHP. So if you do any mistake, then you will not be able to extract the values from the input elements. Txt email. Okay, I'm going to copy paste once again. Here I have to make change as address. So here we are not using input type text, we are using text area. ID is equal to txt add. Name also I'm going to give it as txt add, right? Then rows is equal to 5, columns is equal to 20. Okay, text area is ready. Here I need to make a change, txt add. So form is almost ready. Now we need to have one break here and submit and reset button. Input type is equal to submit. That's it. Input type is equal to reset. Okay, so let's see how this looks in the browser. Open with no need to open with live server. We'll open with the local host itself. So php lab is the folder. Okay, now you can see these are the files which we created inside the folder called php lab, which is residing in the htdocs folder of the XAMPP server. Now I need to click on v5.html. Okay, I'll enlarge it. So this looks pretty much okay. Once the user clicks on this submit button after entering the data, the entire user input has to go to v5.php file, and there we will write the code to insert the data into the database table as well as list all the database table rows. Okay, go back to the Visual Studio Code, click on v5.php. So here we need to write the php tags. So inside this we are going to write the entire PHP code to insert as well as display the contents in the browser. First, we need to establish the connection with the database. So $con is equal to MySQLi connect. Here we need to pass the arguments. The first argument is the name of the host. So since we are running it in the local host, I have to give it as localhost. It's a string. I'm going to name as localhost, right? The next argument is the username. By default, the username of localhost database is root itself, MySQL, and the password is null. So I'm going to keep the third parameters as empty, and the fourth parameter is the name of the database. So here I'm going to just give the name of the database as college and semicolon. So we have written the statement to connect to the database. Once this is done, we need to just check whether that connection was successful or not. For that, we'll use an if statement. If $con, okay, you need to use this arrow mark symbol, connect error. If there is any error, then we'll write some code here. Otherwise, we'll see. Otherwise, we'll display just echo database connection successful. Okay. Now, if the connection is failed, then we can just display output as echo database connection unsuccessful. But what we are going to do is we are going to use the die function to stop this script from executing further. So we are going to display connection failed, database connection failed. Okay, that is the first parameter. Along with this, we'll concatenate. Dot is a concatenate operator in PHP. So we are going to display the error also along with the message. So $con, okay, connect error. Okay, if we just use this property will be having the error if any. Okay, so what we will do is we'll just test whether our connection is successful or not. Go back to the HTML page. Now click on submit. Yes, database connection is successful. Now we can write the code to accept the input and then insert it to the database table. So $register number is equal to, okay, dollar underscore, you need to use the global variable. You need to use the global variable which we have used in the previous program to accept the input that is sent from the client. So you need to use the same variable name, otherwise it will create a problem. What I will do is I will go to b5.html. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it as it is. I don't want to do any mistakes. Dollar name is equal to dollar underscore post of okay, like this. I'm going to collect the input from all the elements. So there are 7 input elements. First I'm going to name third one as course, fourth one as gender, fifth one is phone, Sixth one is email, and the last one is address. Okay, now we need to copy the name of the controls. So txt course, rd gender, next phone, then email, after that address. Okay, now we have accepted the input. Now let's now write the query. So I'm going to create a variable of type string and write the query. Insert into student is the name of the table. Values inside the bracket, I'm going to write all the 7 field names. So I'm going to have to copy this. Register number, next we have name, next we have course, next we have gender, next we have phone, and then email. Okay, and then address. The values what you are passing has to be of the same order as it is in the database table, otherwise you will get an error. Okay, since we have used double quotes outside, whatever we are passing as string, that has to be within the single quote. Please remember this. The query is ready. Now we need to execute the query. To execute the query, we have to use the dollar connection. Okay, and execute query of pass the query name $SQL, right? So if you do this, query is executed, but we need to know whether the query was successfully executed or not. So for that we'll write an if statement. If $query execution was successful, that is equal to true. Okay, then echo student data inserted or successfully saved, right? Otherwise data not saved, right? Okay, so our program, half of the program is ready. That is nothing but inserting the data into the database table. Now we'll close the connection, $con close. So it's always good practice to close the connection once all the operations are performed. Now we'll see whether we are able to insert the data into the database table. Okay, I'm going to submit this. Student data successfully saved. Yes. Let's test whether it has been saved in the database table or not. Go to the SQL. All right. So select star. Okay. Now everything is ready here. I'm just clicking the button go. Okay, see here we see I got the register number 181234. Everything is saved, so our program is successful. I'm going to insert some more entries into the database table. Since register number is primary key, it has to be unique. Mohan BCom. It's always good if you do the validations using JavaScript. Okay. Mysore. Submit. Okay. One more entry I'm going to give. Karam BBA. Okay. So I'll just give another email ID. So JP Nagar. Submit. Let's see whether it has been inserted or not. Click on the go. Yes, you can see 3 records are there in the database table. Now what we need to do is we need to go back to our Visual Studio Code, write a query to select all the database table records and display it in a table. Okay, so first I'm going to echo one heading. Student data. Okay, now $SQL2 is equal to select star from student, right? So query is ready. We need to execute the query. Okay, so executing the query is very easy. We have to use this. Okay, $con of query and $SQL, right? Now query has executed, but in this case the query is returning records, right? We need to store that record in some variable. So on the LHS I'm going to create one variable called records. Okay, so this will hold all the records written by this query. So if there are, obviously there will be more than one records, so we are going to write a looping statement to display the contents. So let's write the code for displaying the content. While $row is equal to $records of fetch associate. See, once the query is executed, all the records will be stored in the $records variable. So this will be stored in the form of name value pair, that is nothing but an associative array. So in this piece of code, we are just storing all the data of the associative array in a variable called $row, and here we are going to write the code for displaying the contents that has been stored in the associative array. Okay, so we will write some code here. Echo in the table column, we need to store it. So dot is the concatenation of operator. $row $row of name of the column, right? So first column is register number. The name of the column has to match with the database table, otherwise it will throw an error. So again we need to have one more column, td. Okay, concatenation operator. So what I will do is I'm going to copy this. Okay, $row of s name, then we have $row of course. So if you do any mistake here, then it will not retrieve the correct results from the database table. Okay, then we have gender. Okay, then we have phone, then we have email, and lastly we have address. Okay, so once this is done, we can terminate this statement. Okay, so before this we need to create a table. Table border is equal to 1, echo. Here we need to create the row for the table. So before this statement, tr. Okay, so once the row has been created, we need to close the tr tag. Okay, we'll create one header also. Here we need to, now we need to close the table tag. Okay, here we will display the table header. Th. Okay, so first is register number /th. I'm going to copy this 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so last one is address, email, phone, gender, course, and name. Okay, I think we are good to go. Let's see whether this works properly or not. There was an error. Okay, there are two copy paste mistake. Okay, code seems to be all right. We'll see whether we'll get the results properly or not. There's a problem in the table. Let's fix it. The closing tags were not proper. Okay, I think now we are good to go. Now we'll insert one more student details. Name, submit. Yes, now we got the results. All the rows of the table have been displayed properly. So we have successfully completed our fifth lab program of part B lab cycle. I'm going to explain once again. So first we need to create an HTML file in which you design the form, and in the action attribute you're going to give the URL of the server file wherein all the data will be sent. Okay, and I'm using the method as post because I'm sending large quantity of data. So I've created a form like this. Okay, it is up to your creativity to beautify this display. Then we'll go to the b5.php, the server file. So in order to establish the connection with the database, first we have to use the MySQLi connect. This is the function that is used to establish a connection with the database table. This MySQLi connect takes 4 parameters. The first parameter is the name of the host where we are hosting this website, which is nothing but localhost since we are hosting in the local machine. Then the next parameter is the name username of the MySQL database, that is root, and then the next parameter is the password. By default the username is root and password is null, so I'm just specifying nothing in the third parameter, and the last parameter is the name of the database. So if you want to check whether the connection has established successfully or not, so you will use this $con connect error property to check whether database connection has been successful or not. So then we are accepting all the values that was sent from the client and storing it in local variables. So then we are going to create one SQL statement to insert the values into the database table, and I'm going to call it as a $SQL string variable. Now we are going to execute the query using $con query function, and if it returns true, then student data has been successfully saved. Otherwise, data not saved, a message will be displayed. And then we are displaying all the student data from the database table. So once again we'll write one more query, a simple select query, and execute the query. This query will return number of records in the database table, and these records will be stored in the associative array called $records. So we are going to fetch each of the row from the associative array and display the contents. So we are going to fetch the row content by using this syntax of associative array. So that's it. Okay. After we finish the operations, we are going to close the connection. So this completes your lab 5 exercise. Thank you.